Well, joining me now are Ali Stunt, a pancreatic cancer survivor who founded the charity Pancreatic Cancer Action, and Gloria Hunniford, the presenter who set up the Caron Keating Foundation in memory of her daughter who died of breast cancer in 2004. Gloria Hunniford, when you saw this advert at first, what did you make of it?
Well, up front, I would like to just establish that through our foundation, we give grants all year round to all forms of cancer, including pancreatic cancer. So I'm not against raising funds or raising awareness for any kind of cancer. I have to tell you, I feel almost sick when I read the words, "I wish I had breast cancer." And I personally think that this is a very insensitive commercial and a very insensitive and misguided way of going about raising awareness and raising funds. Of course, I'm coming from a deeply personal point of view, but I watched my daughter battle breast cancer for 7 years and then it spread to the bones. Believe me, at no time would she have said, I would prefer another form. She didn't want it at all.
Did you set out to be controversial?
We set out to try and raise awareness for a disease that gets very, very little attention, and we did want to make sure that we got our messages heard.
But you would accept that you knew that that would shock a lot of people, people of cancer and otherwise? Yes,
we thought that it would spark debate, but I think if people look just at the headline, "I wish I had breast cancer," I think if you take that in its entirety, then if you're only looking at that, then I think that
is the advert as well. It would be fair to say, Gloria Hunniford, that some cancers do attract more interest and funding. I'm thinking particularly of breast cancer with Pink Ribbon, the Moonwalk.
That's not really the point, you see, because imagine you went into a doctor, heaven forbid it ever happens to you. You go into a doctor and say, "Kirsty, I have to tell you, I'm so glad you didn't get pancreatic cancer, but you've got breast cancer." I mean, you can, in my opinion, you cannot play one against the other. I mean, in fact, I want to read out, I purposely took it out of the statement today. One of the major breast cancer charities said, "We strongly dispute any message which suggests that one type of cancer is preferable to another."
We're not actually
did
saying
that phrase
that,
come from?
This is the thought of many patients with pancreatic cancer. They face a 3% 5-year survival rate, and it's something that when I was diagnosed in 2007, I wished I had a cancer. If I didn't wish to have cancer at all, and I wouldn't wish cancer on anybody, but I wanted something that would give me a better chance of surviving, and I didn't know at that point that I would actually get to be one of those 3%.
See, I am absolutely thrilled. I want to say it's fantastic you are one of the great survivors, but in my humble opinion, I just feel that you've got a new drug which you've advertised today, and I think that the purpose of any ad to raise funds or awareness of any cancer is surely to have a more positive message instead of having, for me anyway, a negative phrase like, and people read papers, this is what they read, "I wish I had breast cancer." It actually makes people's stomachs turn over.
Ali Stunt, you would accept the funding for pancreatic cancer has changed quite radically. It's gone from 1.5 to 5.1 million. I mean, that must be a huge step forward for you.
Well, it's baby steps, isn't it? I mean,
but you also get a share of the pot that's 521 million.
We get, in fact, the share of the pot that pancreatic cancer gets in the site-specific area is actually less than 1%. So we're talking 4.7 million.
When there's research into, for example, ovarian cancer, that informs breast cancer. Research into other cancers always informs other cancers. Do you accept that, or is it because you feel that pancreatic cancer is harder to detect, you know, can be very aggressive, and in a way doesn't attract the same interest as other cancers?
It absolutely doesn't, and it is the lack of awareness. A lot of people in the public actually perceive that pancreatic cancer has had some of the same advances as many other cancers, and I even had it said to me when I was diagnosed that, "Oh well, they've made great strides and things have improved, and you know, they can do so much these days." Well, they can't with pancreatic cancer. The only way to have a curative option is to be diagnosed in time for surgery, which I was lucky to do so. But you know, the problem with pancreatic cancer is that most people don't understand enough about it. We don't know enough about it.
Is that fair to say, Gloria Hunniford?
Well, it is to a point, of course it's true, and many cancers want to raise awareness and want to raise more funds. I just feel, and of course I come from a personal point of view, I stress, I just feel a shock tactic like this is not really the correct and most sensitive way to go about getting...
Do you stand by it?
I do. I do, because the messages I wish come from patients. They that's coming from patients.
But do you think that said by patients is said at a time of great anguish, and perhaps not said, you know, when they would be in other circumstances? It is, in a way, a natural reaction. It was your reaction when you were diagnosed. But actually, to move forward, there has to be a more positive response.
Agreed. And what we need to do is to raise awareness of the symptoms.
Is there an issue, can I just ask,
Yes.
is there an issue about too many small, individual, different, understandable cancer charities?
You probably have a point, but could I just say that when you talk about you know, a shock tactic and wanting and standing by, raising money and raising awareness for this, it is at a cost. For example, a very good friend of mine is having a double mastectomy tomorrow morning. Try showing her this ad and try to let her have sympathy for another cancer.
Thank you both very much indeed.